The chaos at Red Bull is supposedly now complete, following the controversial driver change between Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda. Logically, Max Verstappen's future is now also being looked at, because is the chaos slowly driving him to a shock Red Bull exit? In this brand new Racing News 365 video, we will take a look at the entire Red Bull situation and what Verstappen has made of it all. But before we get on with the video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get straight to the point. For the time being, there are no signs that Max Verstappen is going to leave Red Bull. The reigning world champion indicated in China that he is enjoying himself in the team, with him only being 8 points behind McLaren's Lando Norris. But the key words in it are, for the time being. Ultimately, Red Bull must deliver a competitive car for Verstappen, but most importantly, in a calm environment, something it has failed to do. Red Bull's downward spiral is truly remarkable, given that the Milton Keynes-based outfit enjoyed the most dominant season in F1 history as recently as 2023. That year, Red Bull won 21 of the 22 races, with both the drivers' and constructors' titles having been won. Verstappen sealed a third crown, while Sergio Perez sealed second in the standings. So what has been Red Bull's and Verstappen's biggest threat since that dominant campaign? Well, all it needs to do is look in the mirror. Since 2023, Red Bull has been its own worst enemy. Its recent difficulties started during the 2023 season, with Nick de Vries having been axed from AlphaTauri after just 10 races and replaced by Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo was given a simple task: challenge Perez for the Red Bull seat. In the end, Ricciardo failed to deliver and was axed himself after the 2024 Singapore Grand Prix. A second driver axed from the Red Bull family within the space of 18 months. Further evidence that Red Bull's driver policy was not going well. And that is without even discussing the exit of Perez or the recent driver swap between Lawson and Tsunoda. It is not only its driver strategy where Red Bull has encountered issues, with its senior figures having also caught significant attention. At the beginning of 2024, a huge Red Bull bomb was dropped as team principal Christian Horner faced allegations of inappropriate behaviour towards a female employee. However, following a lengthy investigation, Horner was cleared of any wrongdoing. Horner retained his position as Red Bull boss. However, the investigation led to major Red Bull unrest. Helmut Marko was almost suspended, Jos Verstappen vented his anger at Horner to the media, and Adrian Newey and Jonathan Wheatley both announced they were leaving. Newey joined Aston Martin at the start of March this year, whilst Wheatley will start as Audi's team boss next month. On the circuit, Red Bull's dominance also ended. Verstappen started the 2024 season emphatically, but from losing the Miami Grand Prix to Lando Norris onwards, problems with the RB20 arose. Balance issues for Red Bull saw the team tumble, whilst McLaren rose to the top of the pecking order. Norris was suddenly able to battle Verstappen, although the Dutchman still claimed a fourth consecutive F1 driver's title. However, Red Bull slipped to third in the constructors. On the other side of the garage last year, things were going very badly. Sergio Perez could no longer handle the car and endured a season to forget. Perez had been capable of being within a few tenths of Verstappen, however, he tumbled into the midfield. Despite being given a contract extension for 2025 midway through the 2024 season, Red Bull paid more than $10 million to part ways with the Mexican driver. His replacement? Liam Lawson. Following the exit of Perez and the arrival of Lawson, it was assumed ahead of this season that the chaos at Red Bull was complete. How wrong that would prove to be. Despite the hopes that the RB21 would be stronger than the RB20, several issues have been discovered across the opening two races. Verstappen has complained of the car being too slow, with it even being a handful for the Dutchman. He finished second in Australia and fourth in China, with him having hinted that Red Bull are 4th in the pecking order. The gap to McLaren has become even bigger, and there doesn't seem to be much prospect of improvement yet. Red Bull even scheduled an emergency meeting at the start of this week to discuss how to close the gap to McLaren. It is clear Red Bull are worried. Concerns also quickly appeared about Lawson. He failed to score a point in the first 2 races, including a crash in the Australian Grand Prix. He also failed to escape the first part of qualifying in any format across Australia and China, and even qualified in 20th for both the China sprint race and the Chinese Grand Prix. As a result, Red Bull has taken the unbelievable decision to swap Lawson and Tsunoda after just 2 races. Red Bull appear to be anything but calm, with a big question being what all the chaos means for Verstappen's future. Former F1 driver Guido van der Garde shared a statement on Instagram after the swap was confirmed, which later pointed a finger at what Verstappen makes of the entire situation. Van der Garde wrote, "I'm getting a bit tired of the reports that F1 is the toughest sport and that you have to suffer the consequences if you don't perform. Yes, you have to do it right. Yes, the pressure is immense. But in my opinion, this comes closer to bullying or panic football than actual performances of top athletes." What makes Van der Garde's criticism of the driver swap all the more striking is that the Instagram post has received a like from Max Verstappen. Returning to the action on the circuit quickly, with the current performance of the RB21, Verstappen cannot fight for victories or even a 5th driver's title, and has indicated himself that the team needs to calm down. It is known and has been confirmed by Helmut Marko that Verstappen is not happy at the driver swap and believes the change is unfair. An interesting question: where would Red Bull be right now if Verstappen had decided to leave last year? It is a crucial upcoming triple header for Red Bull to first of all prove to Verstappen that they can improve the RB21, but that they can also work under a calm roof. Failure to do both, and the 27-year-old could start assessing his options for 2026. There are already doubts about the brand new Red Bull powertrains engine for the new regulations next year, something Verstappen will know about if true. It promises to be a fascinating few weeks. Be sure to let us know in the comments what you think of the entire situation currently at Red Bull and how much longer you think Verstappen will put up with the Austrian outfit. On top of that, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the RacingNews365.com channel. From myself, Nick Golding, I will see you on Monday with Ian Parks for the Racing News 365 podcast. See you later.